Hello, friends, and welcome to another installment of Go Tell It on the Mountain. Today, I get an opportunity to be with Reverend Toni DiPina, who is going to be worshiping. Well, I get to worship with her and her congregation at Rockdale this current Sunday. And so, Toni, thank you so much for just making time to connect with me. Toni and I actually got an opportunity to meet officially and formally at Super Saturday. So if you did not come to Super Saturday, you could have invited me to preach, but you weren't there. So so thank you so much. I'm going to jump right into our conversation.
Sure.
I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself and what drew you to Rockdale.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know how far back I should start, but I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was found as an infant in a vacant lot, and at about 9 months old, and so I was raised in a series of foster care, but I was also raised in a church, and so that having been raised in the church gave me hope, and I think hope is something that we develop, and so as I continue to fight through adversities, I always held on to hope for my lessons from Sunday school as a child. I was called to the ministry, I believe, very early, but I fought it because I just didn't want to be poor. And I hadn't quite yet understood that poor is not a matter of money as much as it is a matter of spirituality. Yeah. And once I grew into that understanding, I accepted my call. I went to Andover Newton Theological School, graduated in 2008 with my MDiv degree. And I was ordained as an American Baptist minister. However, the call to the UCC churches was very strong from seminary because I was invited to a meeting at seminary, and it said, all are welcome. And I was like, wow, that sounds awesome. And so I went to the meeting and I discovered that I was at an LGBT meeting, and I was like, huh? How did that happen? But it was from listening and learning, and because I grew up in an evangelical Lutheran church, by the way. So it was from listening and learning and developing relationships and like really understanding that changed my perspective. And then I just said, this is what the UCC is about. That's what I want to be about. Amen. And so that's how I was, lured or called into the UCC churches and found my way to Rockdale. I've been their minister for 12 years.
Oh, amen. Amen. And I think I started wrong. DiPina?
Yes, DiPina.
Okay, good. I want to make sure because I think I may have said something else earlier. So Reverend Toni DiPina, make sure you remember that. So Rockdale for 12 years. So where are you finding hope in the context of Rockdale right now?
Yes, we're in the process of we're a little bitty church I shouldn't say little bitty, but we're a smaller congregation simply because of the whole move since the 50s and the 60s. The congregation has dwindled and became much older congregation, but now we're beginning to draw in more younger, middle-aged congregants in. But our hope right now is to bring families back into the church, and so we're working on different things, community actions to just first of all let people be aware that we're there, because we're pretty much off the beaten path.
Okay.
We're not sticking off a main road. And so we're deep into the community, which means we are a community church. Mm-hmm. And we need to be more present for the community, which is what we're working on. And that's our hope right now. Our hope is to bring young families back in. We're in the midst of a pretty much Catholic-centric community as well.
In Northbridge, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's our hope. Our hope is to spread the gospel, to let people know that all are welcome, and that God does not have favorites or favoritisms. And
amen. That's a good reminder. I want to follow up on something. What has kept you there for 12 years?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I have fallen in love with my congregation and they've fallen in love with me. And I'm my own self. I mean, I don't come in to try to be something that I'm not. I am an African American woman. I grew up in an African American community. And I think that people want to hear that. They want to hear other people's experiences. And so what has kept me there is that they continue to want to know more. They want to hear more. They want to know more. They want to find out. I've invited Muslims to the congregation. I've invited transgender folks to the congregation. They want to learn about other people, and that's what's kept me there.
Hmm. And then my last question would be, how can people join us in worship?
Well, right now, your best bet is to come and put your butts in the seat in the pews. That's my modicum for this year is butts in the pews. But we do have we have a Facebook page. It's a private Facebook page. So if you Google Rockdale Congregational Church on Facebook and ask to join, we'll absolutely administer we'll absolutely let you in. And then you can experience the worship that way as well if you're not actually inside the church walls.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Well, friends, you have heard it. Join us at Rockdale Congregational Church in Northbridge, Massachusetts. Depending on which social media platform you are watching this on, either above us or below us, you will see a link to the congregation. I invite you to check it out. One of the things we continue to remind people in the Southern New England Conference, we are one Big C church in many locations. And so even if you can't join us this Sunday, maybe there's a free Sunday that you have that you just might want to drop by Rockdale and show some love to Reverend DiPina and also the congregation. And then maybe they might find themselves in your neck of the woods and they'll
That's
be
right. Yes.
church as well.
We welcome you.
Thank you so much. Excuse me. If you were to look down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Take Action Now link for Southern New England Conference's Take Action page. If you're looking for ways for your congregation to be alive and vibrant for such a time as this, please go to the Take Action page and find a way for you and your congregation to be involved. Reverend Toni, I am looking so forward to being with you and your congregation this Sunday. Thank you so much for being at Super Saturday, and thank you so much for this invitation to worship with you and your congregation.
And thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.